Freedom Friday. I'm so glad you're here. As always, I am taking just 2 seconds to make sure we're connected because sometimes the things don't do what it does. Okay, we're good. All right, so today's topic. Let me get my notes out here so that I could get us completely started. So, okay. It is time. Let me tell y'all, it is absolutely time that I quit, or that you quit hustle culture. I've been effectively quitting it for some time now, and it's a process. And it's not because I'm lazy or not because I am giving up on my dreams, but because I'm done believing that my success has to hurt. Listen, who wants to believe that? That makes absolutely no sense. So lately, I've been living more freedom than ever, even while starting a new job and still building my business. And it's made me really think about, what am I doing right so I can keep doing those things? And what other things can I get rid of so that I don't default back into this mindset of being or continuing to work hard? Because that's what America would love. It would love for me to be caught in that vibe of always working hard. And I don't want that. So tonight on Freedom Fridays Happy Hour, I want to talk about what quitting hustle culture actually looks like in real life without burning it all down, going broke, or abandoning our ambition. So if you've ever thought there has to be another way, this conversation is for you. It's gonna be a good one. So grab your drink and come sit with me tonight. I'm drinking on my favorite coconut water. It's a coconut watermelon combination from Once Upon a Coconut. So if you're here, take a second and post in the chat your name and what you're sipping on while I get us started today. Oop, crap, I don't have that window open. That's okay. I'm gonna do the countdown and we're gonna get it started. I just realized I was so close, so I had to change that. And then once we get the countdown moving, then we're gonna jump into sharing our wins from this week. And y'all, I have a really cool win from this week. I cannot wait to tell you. But let me go ahead and get this. Um, Let me get this started. Okay. I think something's gonna like go off easy. That's okay. There we go. See, when I have little hiccups and things don't go quite as beautifully as I hoped they would. But that's okay. Listen, forgive my extra tables on my bed. No, this is actually how I like it. I love to have, because I don't use side tables yet. So I got my little tabletop to help me. Let me see. And my coconut water is hitting the spot. I needed that. Yes. Okay. Let me see what's going on over here in the chat. Oh, here it was. It's like a major window is different now. That's okay. Good. We got everything running. um, Ooh. All right. So we are back. Um, and like I said, let me get over to the chat so I can see. Hey, there we go. Hey, Megan. Happy Friday. So glad that you can join today. It is, let me tell y'all. Okay, no, I'm just going to save that for my win. So, yes, like I said before, today's topic is about, um, Lord, I just had a brain fart. About quitting hustle culture. That's what it's about. So I gave a little snippet of what we're getting into, but I love to always start off by celebrating our wins from the week. So I'm gonna give you some time to think of what wins you are celebrating. So take a second and drop them in the chat so that we can celebrate them with you. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna share 3 wins that I'm celebrating from this week. Have a good conversation about it. Okay. All right. So, my first win from this week. Guess what, y'all? Guess who came into the store to shop for furniture and I got to talk to him? Clearly, this is a celebrity. Okay. Can you guess? I feel like I'm going to make it really hard to guess because you don't have any context. But Um, yeah, I don't know how to make. I don't know how to help you guys. If someone came to mind for you that is a celebrity that lives in Atlanta, then drop it in the chat. But otherwise, y'all remember the Cosby Show from back in the day? Of course you do, because who doesn't remember the Cosby Show? And the scandal with Bill Cosby. But regardless, we remember the Cosby Show more. Well, Keisha Putnam, Rudy, came into the store and went shopping, and it was so fun. It was just me, my coworker, and her, and she was looking for a chair and some other accessories for her home. She was so fun to talk to. She was really cool. Like, yeah, it was just simple. It was really nice. It was like hanging out. So, because she was I mean, most people that come in and shop with us, they are looking for very specific things. So they too tend to spend a good bit of time in the store. So she spent I would say she was with us at least an hour, maybe 2 hours. Um, just looking at, well, what about this blanket? What about these pillows? And I wonder if that feels good together. Let's put them together. What other options could we order? So, yes, that was one of my fun things from this week. One of my wins, I got to meet Keisha, Rudy from The Cosby Show. Oh, also, too, she was telling us she owns goats. She owns Yoruba dwarf goats. I didn't even know that that was a thing. So I was like, oh, did you give them Nigerian names? And she said, no, I actually named them Biggie and Pac. She said, we gave them goat names. And I was like, okay, goat names. No, and then she was like, no, I mean the greatest of all time names. And I was like, ah! I thought that was so stinking cool. She's like, no, we got to give them the greatest of all time. Not just goat names, but greatest of all time names. So stinking funny. She was hilarious. So that's how they got named Biggie and Pop. But Biggie passed away this week, and she was really, actually, really, really sad about it. You could tell her goats are like her babies. And so she had hay for them in the back of our pickup truck, and we were trying to figure out how we were going to get her chair in the back of the pickup truck with the hay. But it wasn't a full thing of hay, so it was okay. So yes, Megan said, "Wow, that's cool." It was cool. I was like, "What?" I was on a high that day. What day was that? That was Thursday. That was yesterday. Because yeah, that was yesterday. So yes, that was my first win. I got to meet Rudy from the Cosby. My second one is today was my first Friday off. I actually think I prefer to work Fridays though because I'm in such a rhythm for Fridays. It just happened to fall that week, but I'm trying to figure out what days of the week feel like the best days of the week for me to be off because we will allow us to do the same days off every week, and then we get one weekend off a month. So I just need to figure out. I had some uh, I had Monday and Tuesday off most of the weeks that I've done so far. So this is the first week I didn't have Monday and Tuesday off. I just had Monday off. Was it Monday? Yes, I just had Monday off. So it felt a little weird. I will tell you, I don't like split weeks. I don't like it where my 2 days off are not together. But that was just the way the week happened because we're not fully staffed and we had a big retagging to do. So it was just, but it won't be like that all the time. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what my 2 weekdays a week are. Megan's rolling on the floor laughing. I'm guessing you're talking about Biggie and Pac and my conversation with Keisha. She was so nice. And then I know, rest in peace, her goat, Biggie. It was sad. You could tell she was really really sad about it. And I was like, wow, I want to come visit your goats. So she said they have a whole little farm. They got goats and chickens, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. I mean, I like the goats for the idea of being able to um, they will keep the lawn low because they'll eat the grass, but I don't need the chickens or anything like that. So, but I wouldn't mind having like a set of goats. That could be really cool. And these were little cute goats, like really little cute goats. So randomness. Okay. So that was my two wins. First one was I got to meet Rudy this week, and then my second one was that I had the day off. This is my first Friday off. Even though I don't think this is going to be a day that I regularly ask for off for. Um, my third win for this week is that listen, y'all know I got so excited last week. Last week was supposed to be my first paycheck, right? Well, technically, it was my first paycheck. But let me tell you, they mailed my check because it's the first check. Evidently, everybody's first check gets mailed. And then with the storm, I I didn't get my check on Friday. It didn't come on Friday. I was like, okay, it's gonna come on Monday. It's a weekend. Monday came and went, and I didn't get paid. So I was like, yo, hey y'all, like I'm gonna need y'all to read, like, give me the tracking number. And then she's like, oh, we didn't overnight it. We just we sent it by USPS. And I was like, what kind of place are we that we send somebody's paycheck USPS? So I was a little annoyed, but I took a deep breath. And she was like, well, because of the storm, why don't we just wait until tomorrow? And I was like, okay. So then Wednesday came around, and I was like, listen, my check has not come. And she's like, well, what about today? I said, listen, by the time I get home, I drive 63 miles to get home. And I don't leave here until 6:30 p.m. You are already going to be gone before I even leave work. There is no way for me to check for that check. And if you're going to have it to me by tomorrow, you need to send it now. And she was like, okay. So she went ahead and finally agreed, and she went on and recut my check and sent it to me, and she overnighted it to me. So they put it in the mail on Wednesday, and I got it yesterday. So I finally, officially got my first check. And then, because I'm not used to the cash and checks, my bank was like, "Oh, this check is going to be on hold until next Wednesday." And I said, "Oh, ho." So I had to call them yesterday, and I was like, "Yeah, we need to figure something out because that's an actual paycheck from a country, like a company. Like, why are we putting that on hold?" And so the lady, you know how you could tell when it's a black lady. It was a black lady. You could hear it in the voice. And so she went and did some research for me, and she said, "Okay, well, I can't do anything about it today because um, you just deposited it today, and the only way around that would have been to deposit in an ATM or to go into a branch." Which I don't deposit checks that often, so I didn't know. I didn't even think about it. I probably would have known that in the past, but I haven't deposited a check in, Lord have mercy, I don't even know how long. So she's like, "We'll call back tomorrow." and I'm pretty sure you qualify for for an exemption, and they will be able to post it immediately. So I called back today. I did exactly what she told me, and they posted it immediately. So thankfully, that's all taken care of. And then next week's check should be direct deposited. So that's how long it took. That instead of every other Friday, now I get paid again next week, which is fine. I'm be happy for that. So, yes, that those are my wins from this week, and I'm excited. Megan got some wins too. Okay, Megan said wins. 84 days meditated. Whoop whoop. Get it, girl. You wanna listen, you on a roll now. And I'm glad you keep counting. Keep counting. You know what? One of my favorite books, the guy was talking about how he decided that one summer he was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna see if I could go the whole summer without watching TV. And he was like, but it was the summertime, you're out and about, it was actually pretty easy. But then after the summer ended, he was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna try to just keep going and see how long I could go without watching TV." He is now like 10 years in, and he hasn't watched TV. Now, I'm not saying that for everybody. He still reads articles on the internet, this, that, and the other. So it's not like he's not being a part of media. But I'm saying that to say I really love that same kind of energy for your meditation practice. Because before you know it, you're going to be like, yo, I've been doing this for 3 years now and I feel every bit of it. Like this actually blesses me every time I meditate. I just think that's so amazing for you. So all the success, all the claps, all the dibs, all the kudos for you. That's what I actually meant, not dibs, but kudos for you, Megan. That is amazing. Get it, boo. Listen, and then your second win. I got another Sunday off this week. I love that. Listen, take all those wins, girl. That's amazing. I love it. Megan also said they were playing with your money, and now the bank is doing it too, right, girl? It took everything in me to be calm because I was like, listen, I drive 63 miles each way to work. That means I put gas in my car every 3 days. I did the math, okay? Because I'm a budgeter. That's something we're gonna get so deep into. Anybody who joins Jolly with Rashidat, please know we're doing a budget because that's really how you build your financial wealth. It doesn't happen by accident, and it's not just about making more money. It's having discipline with the money that you get. So a budget is super important. So I'm doing the math so I can figure out how much I need to put in the budget for my gas so I don't ever have to worry about not having enough gas money. Do you know what the total, with me needing to buy gas every 3 days, what that comes out to be? $500 a month in just gas. Y'all, I was like, oh. Needless to say, I am now looking for a hybrid car. I'm trying to decide between a hybrid car and an EV car. And my goal is by my birthday, by the end of March, to have purchased a new car, but then also by the end of the year to move closer to work because I've been dreaming about the tiny house, and I can tell you a little bit more about that too. But yeah, I was like, y'all can't be playing with my check. You know how much gas I gotta put in my car? I need that money. Stop playing so I can get to work to keep making money. So I was so glad when the check came. Megan said, that's so dumb that so many jobs still make the first check mail in instead of being direct deposit from Jump. I agree. Which is funny too, because I think my first check from McDonald's, I think my first check from McDonald's was direct deposit, unless I got like, they just skipped my first check, which, listen, it probably was, I think because I had only done like a day or so, but still, it didn't matter. But I think they just pushed it on to. They just made me wait a week. So I don't know. It's either you. I guess you wait a paycheck or you get one a paper check. I don't know. It's annoying. It shouldn't take that long. Like I agree. At this day and age, they should be able to connect all of that pretty quickly. It was the first thing I did. When I say the first thing I did, as soon as I got the job, before I even started my first day, I gave y'all my direct deposit information so y'all can put my money in my account when it's time to pay me. So I'm gonna need y'all to be on top, okay? Yes. Okay. Megan said, Insight Timer keeps track of how many days you use the app and meditate. So it's easy. Listen, come on, Megan. You just tapped into one of my other favorite things. And again, something else that we're going to be doing inside of Jaye. A lot of the things that I do are about simplifying my life, and that's what helps me stay on track. So making sure I get enough steps, I just rearranged my whole day's practice so that I could do it first thing in the morning while I'm working, so that since I'm doubling on it, it makes it easier for me to always show up and do it, and I don't feel like I'm taking the time away from something else because I'm doing both. And then I used my watch to track how much I did, and then I used my trusty cup that measures my stuff for me. All of these things, when you do them manually, are so tedious, and you're like, oh, I don't want to keep this routine up, even if it is good for my health. But when you have these small things like your insight timer or your Apple Watch or my water bottle that tracks my water. All of these little systems are things that hold us accountable and make it easy for us to stay on track with the things that we know are good for us. So again, I love it. I love it. I'm just adding more flair and color to why I love that you've been using this tool every day. I love it so much. Okay, Megan said, I swear, not having a car doesn't seem that bad right now. Right? $500 in gas. $500 alone. That doesn't include car insurance. That doesn't include maintenance. Um, yeah, what else? Oil changes, car insurance, car note. That doesn't include any of that. Luckily, I don't have a car note. My car insurance isn't something I have to worry about. Um, but yeah, when I switch over, it is going to be something. So I'm starting to work on my budget so that I can be prepared. But the plan is that buying a hybrid will so greatly decrease my gas bill, my gas needs. That part of my budget. I'm hoping it'll cut it down to a fifth of what I'll be paying now, and then the rest of it will be in a car note, but the car note won't be forever. Um, so yeah, some trade offs, but it's also time for me to upgrade my car. Listen, my car's name is Ranger. She's a red Ranger pickup truck. I like to think of her like a cowgirl that was singing something off the Cowboy Carter album. Yeah, I just think of her as like a cowgirl. And she took me all the way to California and back. Okay. She is 27 years old, a 99 Ford Ranger, and she's still running. And honestly, she runs decent. She's just old and she's breaking down faster than she can stay up. So it's time to get something else. But she has taken such good care of me. I always send her so much love and energy because she's blessed me. So so yes, it's just time. It's just time. Okay. So yes, those are amazing wins, Megan. Thank you so much for sharing. You know, I always love to hear your wins. I'm so excited for you. Now let's move into our favorite time, which is giving out stickers. And so if you are new to this, um, I just had a brain fart. If you are new to this is live and you get to see when I have a brain fart in real time. So what I was about to say about getting a sticker is that this is about you claiming rest and fun. This is not about um, me holding you accountable. This is just a way to show off that you actually have been taking um, taking time to really take care of you, to prioritize you, and know that somebody out here is proud of you for that. Because hustle culture is not out here proud of us for taking time for ourselves. Hustle culture wants us to keep beating ourselves in the ground, to keep sacrificing ourselves to get more work done. And that's not what we're about over here in these parts of the Interweb. So, yes, I want you to claim a sticker in order to really puff out your chest and say, listen, my rebellious self decided that I'm not doing it that way. I'm not going to become your slave, and not going to spend all my life going after your dreams. I'm going to make time for me and my dreams. And then whatever you get and the benefit of me being me, that's okay. But I'm going to start with me first. And so if you have done that this week, no matter whether it was 10 minutes, 10 seconds, 10 hours of time where you claimed it as rest and fun specifically and only for you without putting anybody else's needs or priorities in it, then you get a sticker. Okay. Listen, Megan is already on it. She already put hers in the chat. So if you want to claim yours, go ahead and put hashtag STICKA in the chat. And I'm going to add you to our check in list. Now, here's the other thing. If you're watching this on the replay and you're like, oh, I want a sticker, girl, you can still get a sticker. Just go to the comments of this video and do hashtag sticker, and I will add you to our spreadsheet. And I'll make sure that you get a sticker. And when you join next week or when you watch the replay next week, you'll see that I added a sticker and I'll shout you out as well. I'm always, always excited to celebrate anybody that has taken time to prioritize for us to come to this show. All right. That being said, let me go ahead and give Megan her sticker right here to get it up on my screen. Okay. Is it showing? Okay, there. Good, 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 good. Let me make it bigger. Here we go. Okay, so giving out stickers. Today is. Ooh, did I forget to give out stickers last week? No. Okay, well, if you're here today, you getting a sticker for last week. That's how we're gonna do that. Sometimes I get excited. Oh, I know what happened last week. Last week I was having so many issues with the Wi-Fi, even though I was at the um, work club, and I never have that problem. And so I decided not to switch back and forth because of all the technical difficulties I was having. So hopefully I'm just gonna listen. Everybody gets a sticker. How about that? And I actually, did you know? I had just started seeing commercials for this because I always forget to pay attention to the Winter Olympics. But the Winter Olympics are starting. They're doing an open ceremony tonight, so I almost probably should have did it. We probably should have saved this one for today. Let's do that. So Megan claimed a sticker. I'm claiming a sticker, and then let's go ahead and add a different one here. Let's see. Let's do a crown. I might have used that one before. Can't remember. I think those are our main people that come every week. And I guess I can just, let me see. I can just copy it down like that. Oop, I went too far. Okay, there we go. So that was my technical difficulty. So everybody gets a sticker. And I hope that that means everybody is still taking time because the stickers only really go so far. You got to still make sure that you prioritize rest and fun because you deserve it. You deserve it, and not just deserve it. It's not just about deserving it. You need it. Your rest needs to be your pregame, not your reward, not your postgame, not oh after I finish everything. This needs to be I can't do anything else until I rest first because I do better at it. I complete more. I'm more efficient. I get better ideas. I work smarter, not harder when I'm my fullest and rested self. And it's so important to make time to do that. Listen, I've been doing it too. Listen, this week we get off at 6, like 6:30 is technically the time, but by the time we get ready to leave, it is like 6:05. So it's usually a little earlier, 6:15. By the time I get home, it is 7:30. I make a snack because I usually eat on the way home in the car if I haven't eaten already. And when I get back to my intermittent fasting, I will have eaten before I even leave for work. And then I come home, excuse me, I watch maybe an episode or something, or I continue listening to my audiobook for a little while. Then I go to bed on time, okay? Because I get up at 5 every morning. So, yes, I'm saying that to say invest in your rest, invest in your sleep because it does make you your best and fullest self. Speaking from experience, and I'm sure you know that too. Okay, so Megan, I got your sticker in there. Thank you so much for claiming your sticker. Thank you so much for prioritizing rest in yourself, rest and fun for you. And you don't need me to thank you or say that I'm proud of you, but I hope that it reminds you that I'm rooting for you. I'm so sincerely rooting for you in everything that you do and every blessing that I am sending your way. Okay? Okay. I'm gonna take a sip. Mm. Okay, cool. All right. So jumping into today's topic. Um I just felt so I was thinking about first of all, I'm trying to get a little bit more ahead in the game of how I do my topics for Freedom Fridays, and I want to get back into inviting guests in. But in the midst of that, like when I'm working on something or listening to a book, it always inspires me for a conversation to have with you guys. And I was thinking about how, some of the most popular videos on YouTube are about quitting their job. And I am in no way opposed to quitting your job. I have absolutely done the, you know what, I ain't got time for y'all suckers. I gotta be done with y'all. I quit. And it's actually funny. Last night I was talking to a girlfriend and she was feeling the exact same way. She was so overwhelmed, so sad. I actually need to send her a message tonight and check on her. And as a mom and a wife, she also couldn't get away to process it. And I could just hear her yearning for some space to be, not have to do anything for anybody else, not have to be needed from anybody else. And I was sad that I wasn't. She's in Denver. I'm sad that I wasn't able to come over and take care of the dogs and the kids um, for a little while to give her a break. Um, so what that brought up in me is like I know that sometimes we think that the only thing that will finally give us that rest and freedom that we deserve is to just uh, cut the cord, to just quit our job and be like, whatever, I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna be a hobo and live on the street. I'm gonna buy a ticket to somewhere warm, and at least it'll be warm, and I'll be fine. I don't know. Maybe I've never said that, but I know I have definitely thought that. So if this is not you, if you've never said that, but it might be for you that you've been like, oh, I'm just tired of this. Like I'm ready to give up because I'm tired. It feels like no matter what I do, I don't get ahead. So I wanted to have the conversation for that person because I know I have been there and I know how hard it can be. And I know the whole journey of quitting and I know how that can be too. And while it has its beautiful parts of it, it also can be really hard too. So I figured it's a good conversation for us to talk about. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Megan said, "Thank you for my sticker." Yes, you're welcome, Megan. I'm always happy to give you your sticker. Okay, so quitting hustle culture. I know the biggest thing for me, again, I want to say I am not in any way opposed to the idea of quitting your job. And I also would say after quitting my job, what? Ooh, Lord, literally 10 years ago, um, and stepping back into a job now, I would say I'm glad that I quit my job at the beginning because it was a detachment that I needed. It was a detox that I needed. I needed a full separation, a full amount of space to detach myself and detach my identity from work. And you don't have to quit everything in order. Now I can say and I can see from my experience as a life coach that you don't have to blow everything up. You don't have to quit your job just to get that same amount of detachment. It's a different process, and both work. Both absolutely work. So if you're like, girl, don't be trying to convince me out of quitting my job. I'm not trying to convince you out of quitting your job. I want you to know though that's not the only way. Because at that point, I quit my job because I felt like that was the only way. Like it was the only choice I had, but to quit my job because I was tired of them suckers and I didn't know what else I was going to do. But I was about to figure it out, and I didn't care what happened. I was going to figure it out. Like that's it was like hell or high water. I'm gonna do something different, and so that was the route that I chose because of it. But now, as a life coach, as a lifestyle coach, it would have been a really good resource for me to be able to work with a life coach. And at that point, I didn't know what it was. So, yeah, I just want to share that there really is another way to do it. And so, if you're looking for that another way to do it, and I'm going to go a little bit more into what my journey looked like to do that, but the hard knock rough journey that I went on to figure it out on my own, I've been able to streamline that and make that into a process that now is called the Restaurage Blueprint, and that is what I teach inside of my course and community, Jalia with Rashidat. And so I'm going to walk you through how to make this transition on how to quit hustle culture without having to go broke or be a lazy bum that blows up your whole life. Again, if you want to do either one of those things, which I sincerely doubt that you want to go broke, or I sincerely doubt that you want to blow up your life, or that you even want to become a lazy bum, because most of the women that come here are professional entrepreneurs. They're ambitious. We're the kind of people that we like actually achieving things. We just want to do it in a way that doesn't make us feel like we have to sacrifice ourselves, our own body, our well being, our nervous system to actually be able to achieve something. And that's where I say there is another way. You don't have to do those things to be able to achieve. So for me, it really looked like I said, I quit my job. But even now, it's kind of fun or it's kind of interesting to be at this spot where I'm going back into the workforce and I have such a different perspective on it and such a peace around it that I don't think I would have had without quitting. But it's allowed me to create some detachment, and I'm excited to go like really deep into the details within Jaya with Rashidat. But from this perspective, what I can share on a Friday in a little bit of time without like giving you an overflow of information is the first thing is since that time where I quit 10 years ago and now, one of the biggest things is I learned how to detach my identity from my work and the roles that I play. So what does that mean? That means that my I don't need to introduce myself by my job title. Like I don't need to try to um, project some level of success. I love what I do. And if you don't think I'm successful, that's not my problem. I got what I want. I want my life to look a certain way. And as long as I got that, I don't need to introduce myself by my job title, right? Um, so that's, so part of it was detaching myself from my identity. But the other part was also learning to detach myself from my roles. Before I am a best friend, before I am a godmom, before I am a sister, before I am all of these different roles that we play. Maybe you're a mom, maybe you're a wife, maybe you're a girlfriend, as an employee, all of these different roles. Even though we might love playing those roles, before all of those things, you're still just you. And you need space to be able to just be clear on you and what's important to you before you step into any of those spots. And so once I really got clear on who I am and what I bring to the table, no matter what else is happening, I know that these are the three things that I'm dropping on the table. That's it. That's my magic right there. Um, Once I knew how to do that, it really made it so that when I went to work, it wasn't about how other people perceived me or how um, or any kind of advancement I was trying to do in the job. As long as I fully showed up in those three things of how I decided I want to show up in the world, it's a good day. And I could rely on that. And I could let everything else run off my shoulders. Now, let me tell you, let me tell you, that did not happen overnight. None of these things that I'm about to tell you. I'm laughing because I'm like, maybe I should have said that as a preface, but none of these things happened overnight. It's taken so much practice, and there are still some days where I recognize, okay, I got to bring myself back. So that was number one though, was fully detaching myself from my detaching my identity from my work, so that I can show up and be my fullest self, regardless of how much money I do or don't make, regardless of how much I do or don't accomplish, and all of those other things. Like, it's not about what I do, it's about who I am. So the second thing was really getting clear on if if it's really this important to me to be ambitious, but also live a life that I fully enjoy, I need to get so clear on what it means to fully enjoy life. And so here's what's very interesting about that. When I'm talking to a client, especially when they start working with me, and I start asking them, well, what does it look like for you when you think of fully enjoying life? Like, when you're in your head and I say those words, fully enjoying life, like, what do you see yourself doing? And I know when I first answered this question, it was like a deer in headlights. I didn't know. And it actually frightened me, like it freaked me out. I maybe even made me a little angry that I didn't have an answer to what did it look like to fully enjoy life. Like, how was I going to be mad that I wasn't fully enjoying my life, that I didn't even know what it actually looked like? I couldn't tell you at that point that for me, fully enjoying my life was building a business. For one, because at that point I didn't want to do a business. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that it is being location independent. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that it's being able to connect in person with with other people who enjoy the same things as me. I wouldn't have been able to tell you those things because I had spent so much time thinking about the things that I didn't want in my life, the things that I hated about my job, the things that I hated about our country, the things that I hated about the people that were around me, that I hadn't spent enough time really thinking about what are the things that what would I replace those things that I hated with? Like, what would I replace them with that I actually love? And that was what, like, when I started asking myself that question, I didn't have the answer immediately, but it was enough to start making me like look for it. And that's the beginning of it. And again, I take you through the details of how to do all of this inside of Dahlia with Rashidat. But that was a really big step, was to get to this point where instead of having a list of things that I was running from and things that I hated, I created a list of things that I was running towards, things that I wanted to build. And listen, the universe honors when you put all of your energy towards thinking about the things that you want. and that has just completely continued to snowball over the years. Okay, Megan said, the thing with my job is it's actually not super hard. I just hate that I'm there 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's so not needed. Then, when I do have my weekends off, I spend all or most of my time catching up on errands and chores. I don't always get to enjoy my weekends. Megan, I get it. And actually, because I'm working on, we're about to start, it's going to start on Monday. We're about to start our onboarding flow. And these are exactly the topics that we talk about in this. The onboarding flow is 14 days of like one step every single day, one something simple. And these are exactly the things that we're going to talk about. So I get it. I completely get it. When it's like I finally do have a day off, whether it's in the evening or whether I have time in the evening or whether I actually have a full day, I'm so busy doing home. It's like you're doing busy work at work, but you're doing busy work at home. And it feels like all you do is busy work rather than time to actually rest. I get it. I get it. And I'm so excited. We're going to be changing every bit of that. And then Megan said, I've changed what freedom looks like to me a few times. I don't always have a clear picture of what I want, but I know a few things that I don't want. And that's really where it starts. It's not easy to come up with this list of what I do want because sometimes you can't just look on television and say, I want that person's life. 9 times out of 10, you don't want that person's life. There might be something inside of their life, one or two things that you might be interested in, but we all have different needs and wants and all of those things, and that's okay. It's absolutely okay. And so when you start looking at what I don't want, then you can start asking yourself or start searching or exploring. I don't want to say searching, but it's an exploration and also an openness of could this thing that I like be a good replacement of something I don't like. And then you start connecting those two. And again, this is a process. It took me some time. Remember, that process started 10 years ago, which blows my mind that I can say that. And but if you start doing that and then start just doing some of the things that you want to replace it with more often, you literally start to see those small actions snowball. So just know that it's coming, Megan. It's coming. But thank you also for sharing that. I totally relate and I totally agree. Okay. So then identity, disconnecting my identity from work was number one, work in my roles. Number two was getting clear on what I want, not just what I don't want. And then number three, now that I have an idea of what I do want, for example, I know that I want to not have to cook again. I know that I want to work out on a regular basis. I know that I want to simplify my business in a way that allows it to grow, but then also be able to delegate some of that work to someone that I can hire. Um, those are just three examples, okay? So there are going to be things on your list when you start figuring out the things of what you do want, not just the things you're running from, like running from burnout. But what is the opposite of your burnout look like? What is burning you out? What does it look like to stop doing that? And what do you replace it with? Because a lot of times it's not just about stopping doing something, it's about starting to do something else. It is important to know what you're going to stop doing, but what are you going to do instead of that is what actually tends to help the the habit really switch. Okay, so yeah, once you have that list of what you want to start doing, then you can actually start making systems, small systems around it to make it easier for you to do those things. For example, Megan, you wanted to meditate more. What did you do? You got an app that helped, that created a system that made it easy for you to simply show up and do the meditation. And that's what I mean when I talk about life systems. It's about creating things or creating systems that empower you to do the things that are important to you as a person in your life, that help you show up who as you how you fully are, rather than doing more systems that help you accomplish more things. You don't need another system to try to help you accomplish a goal. You need a system that makes time for you to daydream, for you to allow your thoughts to flow, for your inspiration to come back, for your dreaming gland to start working, for you to reconnect to just who you are without any connection to any other person. And when you have systems that help you do that on a regular basis, you are so much, you're setting yourself up to regularly stay connected to yourself, to your dreams, and what you want your life to be, rather than staying so over connected and over responsible for everybody else's dreams and everything else. Okay. So life systems are an amazing, it sounds like structure, but I don't know if y'all saw this. Um, there's been a couple different creators who I've seen say something to this effect, but they'll say the quote goes, "Soft life ain't easy," or "Soft life still takes work," and it's totally true. It's absolutely true. But what you're doing is you're putting work towards making space for yourself, and it's less about work and more about discipline, more about setting up these life systems that allow you to just show up and do the things in the simplest, most disciplined way so that you can get back to just doing the things that you actually love. And so, yes, life systems were the second part of it for me. So, some of my life systems, like I use my time and energy budget to make sure I schedule rest and fun. I use it to schedule time for my other things that are important to me, like staying active on a regular basis. Like, um, gosh, I have so many. I'm trying to think what else are on the list. But you create these systems, these routines with simple tools that help you show up and do it and do the discipline for yourself really easy. That make it easy, and then you spend less time trying to figure it out and all of that stuff, and that allows you to just get back to living life so much more quickly. It's like standardizing or like putting your foundation of life on autopilot so that you can spend more time living rather than doing that life busy work that Megan was just talking about. So that's number three. And then number four is really tapping into support, because sometimes you need to be with other people who remember, who participate, who can encourage you to rest, not to work harder. Do you know how many dating profiles where the guy is like, I play hard and I work hard, and it's like, oh, hard, everything hard, not this. I go hard, and I'm like, I don't want to go hard on anything, and I don't want your hardness rubbing off on me. Not that kind. Sorry, my mind went in a different way from that. I don't need that kind of mindset rubbing off on me. I really want someone who, yes, is ambitious, but also is not just ambitious about work, but ambitious about fully living their life. Work is a part of life. It doesn't have to be my life. I don't want it to consume my life, and I don't want to date a man that it consumes his life. So when you choose a community, when you're around other women, other people who also, spend time with that same mindset of recognizing that rest is important, that it needs to be your pregame, that it needs to be something that you prioritize over getting things done. Because if you prioritize rest, you'll not only will you have all the energy you need to do the thing, you're going to get it done faster because you didn't spend half the time convincing yourself that you had to get in the right frame of mind to do the work. Okay. So when you have a support system, when you have a community that can continue to remind that, that's countercultural to whatever everything else that you're hearing. And that's so important to keep you on track and to keep you grounded in the fact that you don't have to work harder to get where you want to go. We just got to do things different. And so those are the four things. And I put those on repeat. Sometimes as my life changes and my season of life changes, some of my routines or systems have to update, have to adapt to whatever is now happening in life. And all of that is normal. That's a part of the process. Um, this is not a set it and forget it. And yet, it is, if you're using it on a regular basis, you don't need to change it every day. You just change it when you need to. So it's close to set it and forget it, but not set it and forget it. It's more like set it and keep paying attention for when it has to adjust again. And yet that can be a simple thing. So in as far as it goes of like quitting hustle culture, I told you, I think, or I don't know if I said this, but I would say the biggest reason why is I tried that hustle hard, do what I can to, stay late and show that I'm very responsible and go above and beyond. I tried those things, and I'm so sad to say I have a friend of mine who is literally in this situation right now where she spent the last year going above and beyond with her job, and um, she had a conversation about getting a raise, which she does deserve. And I mean, she's been bringing in million dollar projects, and she went to ask for a raise, and they were like, "Oh, we weren't even sure we were going to give you on this year," and she was floored. Her feelings are so hurt, and I felt so deeply sad for her because I have been there. I understand that so much. And I'm also like, listen, just go in and do your job, because when you start going above and beyond, they start to expect that that's how you're always going to do, because you haven't actually asked for what you want. There's a different way to approach that, and I could go into that if you're interested in what would it look like to have a conversation about getting a promotion without going above and beyond first. That's a whole different topic. If you're into that, put above and beyond in the comments of this video, and then I'll work on, if I get interest about that topic, then we'll do that as a separate Freedom Friday conversation. But please, yes, I love that, Megan. Megan said, "Act your wage." Exactly, act your wage. Don't go above and beyond, because it's not going to be appreciated. It's going to be seen as your new normal, and that just puts you on a spiral of always. It makes it you versus you without getting any reward for it. And I don't think there's anything wrong being you versus you, but the thing is, your motivation was not you versus you. Your motivation was to be recognized and promoted for it, and that's not what's happening. So don't do that. Don't do it. Megan said, going above and beyond gets you nothing but taken advantage of. Heck, ask me how I know, right? Me and you both, Megan. I know. And I was like, nope, we're just not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore, right? No more above and beyond. So, yes, those are the four things. And the reason why I would say quit that hustle culture. Let that ish go. Put in your listen. Don't even put in the 2 week resignation to that hustle culture. But also, here's the other reason why I say quit hustle culture. When you spend so much time trying to go above and beyond, you're already taken away from you having more time for rest and fun for yourself. You're sacrificing yourself now 2 ways. You're sacrificing yourself because you're giving and knowing that it will never be reciprocated. And then you're taking away from yourself from giving to yourself. So now you're taking from yourself in two different ways. So let that go. I don't want you to quit on your dreams, but I want you to recognize that the people that get ahead, and we know this, the people that get ahead don't get ahead because they work hard. Let's figure out the cheat code. And that's what Jaya is all about. Let's do that. Because there is something that happens when you focus on discipline and prioritizing yourself. People start to see that and they respect it, they honor it, they appreciate it about you, and it actually gets you further and closer to what you actually want of that freedom and those promotions and things like that, um, than going above and beyond. Okay. All right. So yes, let me think, was there anything else that I wanted to say about that topic? I quit my poster. Yeah, I think that was the gist of it. If you are watching on the replay and you have thoughts, I would love to hear. I'm sharing my thoughts, um, but I also love for a conversation. That's the other reason why I love doing this podcast first as a live stream and then reposting it as a podcast, even though I have not officially started that yet, but it will start soon. But I love the conversations that we have from this. So please don't hesitate. My feelings will not be hurt if we have to agree to disagree. I can take that. But and if you just are like, I do agree, share that too. Um, all of it is welcome. The space is safe and here for you to be able to share your thoughts any and every time you have them. Okay. Okay. So, um, yes. Let me see. So now that we have celebrated our wins, we did a little bit of talking about today's topic. The next thing is for us to start winding down for the weekend. And listen, I'm ready. This month of February is going to be a little crazy for me because even though I've been at work for like 3 weeks now, my real my real formal training is about to start. Excuse me. I've already felt like I've been drinking from a fire hose with my training because I've been learning a crap ton. But listen, I'm not complaining because I got to meet Rudy from the Cosby. But these next couple weeks, it means where I would usually have 2 days off in a row. Most weeks I don't have 2 days off in a row. But there is one week where I have 3 days off in a row. And then I go back to work for one day and then I have another day. So it will catch up. It's just going to be later this month. And I just got to I got to be really disciplined about coming home, going to bed, making time for rest and fun, as I'm going through this short period that's a little more strenuous than usual. And that's normal. Again, when we're talking about creating more um, time for rest and fun or creating a life that we fully enjoy, that doesn't mean that there's never a time where things don't go as planned. But it does mean that because we are so rested, because we've been on our routines, because we prioritize who we are more than what we do, so much more often that when things don't go as planned, it doesn't blow everything up. It doesn't destroy your process because you have the wherewithal and you have the space to deal with it without being in emergency mode. And so you can handle that pretty simply and then be able to move back to that rest mode. So, yes, I got on a rant. You know how I do. I can't help myself. I can't help myself. All right, so we were talking about, supposed to be talking about winding down for the weekend. Okay, So there's three things that we do to wind down for the weekend. And I love to do them every single Friday. I need to do them every single Friday. Because every single week, you know what I do? I open tabs. I do. And every single week, I I need to uh you know schedule another rest and fun activity. Every single week, I need to make time to do something fun for myself. And so the other way that I like to think about this, think of Freedom Fridays happy hour. Think of happy hour as like the routine on the same lines of like taking a shower. Like we all kind of wish that we could take a one shower and we'd forever be clean, but it's that's not how showering works. You have to take it one every day in order to stay clean. And that's the same thing about rest. The same thing about these routines that we do. You have to do them on a regular basis in order for it to stay maintained, stay in its best shape. Okay. So that's why we do it like this. So out of the three, there's three things that we do. The first one is to take a second, look at your devices, look at your iPad, look at your phone, look at your laptop or your tablet, your phone, and your laptop. Open them up. See how many windows do you have open. See what things that you can bookmark. So you can close the window. Because guess what? If that tab has been open for the last year, it's not been a priority. Free up that space. You know how when you close something on Google, it'll say now it'll say like freed up 375 megabytes of space. That's the same thing that's happening in your mind when you emotionally when you declutter these extra tabs that you don't actually need. You'll remember that you bookmark it because it's going to become a habit. You start coming every week with us, it'll become a habit where you'll start bookmarking things that you want to come back to, but you don't need. It's not that's not taking up any space when you do that. This is like the physical equivalent of doing a brain dump, clearing out all the space in your brain, in your mind, so that you can actually see, take a step back from it and organize it and then like actually take action, organized, inspired action from that. So, yes, close a few tabs. And here's the thing if it's also your first time, I say that a lot. Here's the thing. If it's your first time and you're like, listen, I can't imagine closing tabs. You don't know how hard I've been holding these tabs close to my heart. No pressure. Maybe this week you just recognize, oh, that is probably something I should start doing. You know, if that if that's how as far as you can go today, no problem. Absolutely no problem. And then I hope that in the coming weeks you close down two tabs, and then you close down four tabs, and then you close down 10 tabs. And then before you know it, you're going to be like some of our overachievers that are like, listen, not only did I close down the tabs, I closed down the programs, I deleted all the emails, and I turned the computer off. Like you're actually, these are things that allow you to fully detach so that when you are in rest mode, you are fully rested and not worried about these things anymore. Okay? That's what we're getting ourselves to. Okay, so that was step number one. Close some tabs. Step number two, choose what fun meal you're going to have this weekend. Let me tell you, I ate my fun meal already. I came home, and right before we started, which is another reason why some of my stuff wasn't quite set up, was because I was eating. I had, listen, I had my Momoku ramen, and then I grilled me some extra firm tofu and added some stir fried vegetables with it, and earlier I had myself a little apple pie. Listen, I ate good, and then I said, "Oh, this is my celebration of my first paycheck." So I ate what I enjoyed today. So I already ate my good meal. What are you eating for your good meal this week? I love it. Megan said, I closed 5 tabs so far. Come on, Megan, get it. I love it so much. When I get done, I'm going to have this whole thing is going to close at one time. So I just closed one. Then this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that'll be 10 tabs plus that other one was 11. Oh, this could close too. This is 12 tabs. Oh, let's close this too. Yes, let's close that. And this. I also got to spend some time going through some email, but it's okay for right now. Closing some emails out. Y'all, also I got a notification. I'm officially at 95,000 views on YouTube today. Ah! Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to watch with me, whether you're watching this live stream, whether you're watching some of my old videos, or whether you're watching some of my shorts. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it for joining me. I love to have you over on this part of the interwebs, okay? I just saw that email. That's what made me remember to say that. But yeah, so I'm closing some emails. I really do have to I'm gonna start I gotta start next week is when I'm gonna start putting some more time towards getting rid of some emails because now I'm up to 435 unread emails. Woo! I gotta get that down. I've just been ignoring it. But so far I've closed 12 tabs. Oh yeah, this could close. I didn't even know this was open. Let's close that. And this. And that. So that's what, 13, 14 tabs I've closed so far. Come on, Megan. We closing the tabs. I love it. I'm closing this one. That was 16. Oh, yes. Listen. Okay. That's 17. Close that. Close this. Listen. Close it, close it, close it. It is so nice to close them down. Okay. So I closed 18 tabs. I'm with you, Megan. Come on, Megan. That's amazing. I love it. She said I closed 5 tabs so far. She was still working on it. Also, too, like I said, let me know what your fun meal was. I always love to know what we eating. What we eating. I guess that's my inner fat girl. Okay. Megan said, "Congrats on the views increase." Yay! Thank you, Megan. I'm very appreciative. I'm so grateful. Yes. Thank y'all. Congrats to me and thank you all for all joining in and watching and participating with me. Okay, so we closed some tabs. I shared my fun meal for the weekend. You can share what yours is if you would like. We might want to try it too, so please share. And then the third activity for winding down for the weekend is to um, choose what fun activity you're going to do this weekend. So I wanted to go to the RV convention this weekend, but I had to switch my days off because I was supposed to have tomorrow off too. But I had already gone 5 days straight, and it would have been 9 days straight of work. So we switched it around. So I don't have tomorrow off. I had it on Monday. So that messed up my plans to go to the RV convention. So I know this is so nerdy, and I don't know that you would consider it fun, but I did. Okay. I went shopping at the little cutesy Japanese store that has all of this little cutesy things. That's like the cool little bowls and the cutesy earmuffs and all the cutesy Japanese things. And I also bought a pen. I'm very anybody that's a stationery lover, you would understand when I say I'm very particular about my pen. And the last set of pens that I bought, they have been like drying out really fast, so fast that it's honestly been making me angry. But needless to say, I needed a new pen, and I was very excited that I found a new pen as a recommendation to my friend from my friend, and yeah, I'm very excited about it. So I got my pin. So yes, that was my fun activity that I did this weekend. But I'm excited to do some more. Also, this in the next couple weeks, they're going to be doing the Lunar New Year celebration at Stone Mountain, and I want to go look for that too. Also, too, I think I'm supposed to be going on a date tomorrow. I don't. I need to confirm that and get more of the details. So yes, I do have a couple fun things, and if I'm being honest, it's gonna be great. But right now, I'm a little skeptical. So that's what that's my wind down. Oh Lord, sorry about that. My nose gets so stuffy. Okay, Megan said, not sure if I'm still going out to eat. Going to eat my burger since it's late. Not sure what I want to eat today. I completely get that. You don't have to do it today. I'm trying to get better at not eating late either, and I really want to get back to my intermittent fasting because I did feel better when I did that, and it allowed my body to, um, it allowed my what is that digestive system. It allowed my digestive system to rest a lot better. So I'm getting back into my prepared meals being sent to me, and my first delivery is Sunday night. So that'll take me through next week. So I'm hoping that once I get back on my routine, that it'll be easier for me to get back to my to not eating so late because that has not been my habit. I've gotten back into snacking. I'm an evening snacker. Is anybody else I'm a mindlessly eat right while I watch TV snacker? That is totally me. Totally me. And I'm trying to get myself back out of that habit. It is probably my worst eating habit is that I love mindlessly eating while I watch TV, specifically popcorn. One of my favorite things. So yes, hopefully I'll get myself back out of that. Okay, so with that in mind, we celebrated our wins. We claimed some stickers. We talked about quitting hustle culture. Um, and we did our wind down for the weekend. And so we've officially done our whole wind down for the weekend. And I'm so glad that you got a chance to join me. As always, the things that I talk about here are just the tip of the iceberg of what it takes to um, shift shift into a place where you're fully enjoying life, not just wanting at work. For me, it was a minimum of a 3 year. It was more like a 5 year process, and it's definitely not something that happens overnight. But with a coach and with resources and with community and everything that I really have set up inside of Jaya with Rashidat, it's not going to take you 5 years. It's going to take maybe like 2.5. And if you're trying to pay off debt, it might take you a little longer. And I strongly suggest you do pay off debt. And yet, 2.5 years is a drop in the bucket for how much freedom you get after that. So, listen, it's the same thing. 2.5 years is a drop in a bucket for how much freedom you get from the rest mindset blocks, from all of the different things that have been holding you back from fully enjoying the life that you want to live. And so, if you are like, listen, I love what we did today on Freedom Fridays, and I want more of that, I would love for you to join Daye with Rashidat. Take a look at the landing page. It's at iamrashidat.o. Oh, excuse me, iamrashidat.o.com/Daye, and get the information so that the next time we open enrollment, you can join us. So yeah, okay, y'all. I'm always so happy to see you. I hope that this week you have stayed warm. I hope that going into next week, you have deep belly laughs, you eat good food, that you have great times with other people that fill your energetic cup. And I hope you sleep. I hope you daydream. I hope you lay on the floor and make carpet angels, okay? Why? Just because it's the simple things that really do allow us the space, the mental capacity to fully enjoy life. So I'm sending all of those vibes to you. And yeah, I'll see you back here next Friday at 7:30 p.m. Yay, good night, Megan. See you next week. I'm always so glad when you're here. Let me do, listen, trying to do my stuff. Yes. So I will see you soon. I'm always glad you're here. Um, and also, listen, and I'm gonna finish this coconut water. I'm here for all the hydration. It really is good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I want another one. I'm gonna behave myself. I got some water over there. I'm gonna drink that. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. All right, good night, y'all.